a lot of times people think if they simultaneously have the thought, I don't want to be doing this, then they're doing treatment wrong in some way, or that their attitude hasn't shifted enough. But the new way of thinking about it is that you can have both attitudes at the same time.
Yeah, and that gets, that self-compassion that you talk about is kind of connected with that too. I can, if I do back away when I thought I was going to step forward, then I have to, live to fight another day, and I have to be okay with myself for having done that. But let's get going again.
Yeah, I just want to add that the way that I think about self-compassion is seeing my own suffering as a pattern. So rather than needing to find a way to get myself to believe, certain warm and fuzzy things about myself as a way to get to self-compassion, if I just think about my own process as a pattern, and at different times I'm getting tricked either by content or by biological process, but anytime that I see what happens for what it is, and then strive to do something differently, that's progress in and of itself. And then a compassionate way to think about one's own process is that you can just keep basically anything is data, and you can always keep trying.
Yeah, and also, they talk about this in sports all the time. You go to the foul line and you miss the foul shot, you can be like so upset with yourself, but next play, next shot. You got that reaction. Okay, fine. Now sweep that away. There's something to learn about that. Oh, I didn't actually have enough arc. That's one thing. You can certainly analyze how things went bad for yourself, but then next shot, next practice. Let's get going. And just a second point I would just make, because you've alluded to this with Sophie and in general, which is, am I doing it properly? Am I doing the protocol properly? What am I looking for as measurements of doing the protocol properly? What is success? To me, how I talk about it is, are you following the steps of the protocol? That's success. Don't measure it by the outcome in that moment. Just keep moving forward with this protocol. If you feel like you question the protocol, that's why we come back in and talk about it. And, I try to either persuade you that the protocol is the right one to use, or we modify the protocol to make it easier for you to keep going forward using the protocol. And I use the term protocol, which is can be different for each person, but you and I are talking about in general what that is: going toward what I don't want to go toward, handling the sensations, having a change in attitude, being more aggressive. All those things matter to me more than let's create a hierarchy and let's start about midway on the hierarchy and work our way up. There's not a problem with that, but it should, to me, or at least how I work, be subsumed under, here's my intention, and let me just try to fulfill my intention. We really get up, if we can get up as high a level of abstraction as possible, then that level of abstraction can be used for all these discrete moments. So if we can get up there to go, I'm going toward what I don't want to go toward, I'm going to welcome what I don't want to welcome, that's a pretty high level of abstraction. And then, when I'm about to face something else, I go, oh God, what am I going to do here? Oh, welcome what I don't want to welcome. Oh, I totally get that. I know what I don't want to welcome here. Shall I practice this now? You don't have to practice all the time. If you don't want to practice, don't practice. That's the other message I give to people, is like, only do what you want to do. Only do what you want to do. If you don't want to practice, don't practice. If you don't want to be in treatment, don't be in treatment. If you don't want to fly, don't fly. The corollary is, if you want to get stronger, you have to want to do what you need to do. You have to want to do what's standing in your way.
Totally agree with everything you're saying. The one thing I want to add to that you mentioned before, and I just want to reinforce right now, is stay in the present moment. And staying in the present moment isn't just watching your breath, but rather the part as you're trying to do the protocol. If your mind says, how do I know I'm going to be able to do this 3 days from now or what have you. That's the opposite of the basketball player that's saying, I missed the shot, I'm going to the next play. That person is not going to, how do I know that I'm not gonna miss every shot from here on out? And it's important that that's one big reason to stay in the present moment. Is the only way that you have a good shot at the next moment is if you stay with that moment.
Yep, absolutely. And, the reason we do acceptance of the present moment is because the present moment is already here. And so if I'm going to resist the present moment, I'm chewing up my working memory. I can only hold on to 4 chunks of information at any one moment. If I start using up my chunks of information by going, oh no, here it is, I hate this, I don't want this, then I don't have much skill set left. If we just think about somebody with social anxiety, it's what happens if they start going internal and going, oh my gosh, am I going to remember what to say next? Then it manifests as them being clumsy and awkward and not remembering what comes next. So the resistance to the present moment is critically important to address because it's already here.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Anything else coming to mind before we close for today?
Not until we close, and I'll think about 6 other things.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much for your time, Dr.
All
Reed
right.
Wilson.